I often get asked which way I think the profession is headed. And maybe I could best describe it. If we think of the accounting profession as being here, that's the accounting profession. The way the smarter firms seem to be looking at this is the three pressures that are making a difference to the way they're operating. Firstly, there's regulation, and effectively that's Sarbanes-Oxley, and the impact of Sarbanes-Oxley has been, bizarrely, in fact, that everyone seems to be making so much more money. And the final four, as we call them, have led the charge and done it very well. And then the SME-facing firms, the GTs, the BDOs, and all the way down through to the independents have all benefited from Sarbanes-Oxley. So it's actually been a good thing rather than a bad thing. And let's hope that continues. The second area is the whole area of staffing. Now, at the end of the day, the big problem is that there just simply aren't enough staff for all the demand that's being faced within the profession. So, the impact here is, firstly, technology has really taken over completely, to the point that we're seeing firms either having gone completely paperless or are making good strides down that line. Now, one of the things that we're seeing happening is that because the staff are asking for it, we are having to do it. Flexible hours, working from home, popping off to the dentist, being around with the young children, half terms, all of these things are being demanded of the employer. And so more and more people are saying, well, can I work from home, and being able to access the database from home and everything that goes with it. So paperless plus, I have to say, have two screens, because all the information that you need today, you just can't get onto one screen. So if I'm accessing the office from home and I want to see client correspondence, I want to see telephone messages, I want to see tax returns, accounts, all of that stuff, it's impossible to see it all on the one screen at the one time. So two screens and going paperless. The other big thing, of course, is that because there aren't enough staff, we need to work on our productivities, we have to work on our efficiencies, and the big buzzword, of course, today is your workflow. Are you managing the whole process of records coming in, auditing, paperless auditing, of course, springs to mind, and all that stuff. Workflow, job tracking is another word that we're hearing a lot of, keeping everything on track and on budget. And that really needs to be done because we just don't have enough staff. Now that's very correlated to the third area, and that is the area of clients. And there's two ways that we're looking at this, or we're seeing firms look at it. First of all, let me just rub this out now. First of all, the clients are differentiating between the services that they receive from their accountants. And the way they seem to be differentiating it is between those services that they regard as much more price sensitive, the cost-driven services, audit, accounts, compliance, tax, that type of thing. And the other type of service, which is very much benefit-driven. Now, they don't mind so much how much they pay for that, because they can see the benefit. Number one, tax planning. Financial services would be number two, and I think the profession has done a very good job, by and large, in helping clients in that sector. The next area that we're seeing growth on is business advisory and exit route planning. Now, when you look at it from that perspective, what the clients are saying is, if you don't deal with this in an efficient way and drive down your costs, then we'll go and find someone else who's willing to do that. So technology in the paperless office springs up here again, because clients are asking it of us. Secondly, if we can do this so much more cheaply, then we're able to create time, and time is the key to the added value. If you don't have time, then you just don't get round to doing this. And so it's a double-edged sword. If you're taking this paperless technology and putting it all together so that people can access it from anywhere, from home or the office, you're not able to create the time to then develop this added value. So that's one big area that the clients are asking for assistance on. The other one is quite simply client care. Now, all the research that we have ever done on telephone interviews with clients of accounting firms, there's never really been any changes. Here are the three things that clients tell us that they care about. First of all, it has to be on time. Timeliness is the number one concern of clients. If it's returning phone calls, getting jobs or accounts out on time, number one. Number two, fees. And number three, being proactive. And basically what we're saying to firms is if you take care of your clients with these ranges of services, focusing on driving down the costs to create time to build the added value, and you do it in such a way as everything goes out on time, you've agreed the fees, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a second, and you are proactive. The process of being proactive is, of course, the process of generating these added value services. So when you're looking at the way that firms are thinking in total, the combination of staff, the regulation has been very helpful, and we'll take it while the sun shines, make hay and all that, and then the client's pressure saying, please, please, please keep this cost down to the minimum because we don't value it as much as we would do this stuff. We then as a profession are saying, well, how do we do that? And all said and done, the combination of these three, when you're trying to add it all together, we are seeing firms saying, well, one of the things you've got to do is have an integrated database where the entire business is being accessed all at once. So we're having, well, one, it's paperless, so that gives the flexibility we're talking about. Two, it gives all the correspondence, the telephone notes, the time and fees, all of that information in the practice management of the business. And when you look at the job tracking for the accounts, indeed for any workflow, whether it be tax returns, accounts, or auditing, that whole job tracking thing brings it into a one database, integrated database system. Plus, and this is my final point, when you see this job tracking happening, you are then able to work out whether you are on budget for the jobs that you have in hand. It's not just about tracking, it's not just about workflow, it's also about communication with your fee earners. And if the fee earners can work out whether they're on budget or not, that then gives the opportunity for partners and the likes to contact clients whilst the job's in hand. And that's the key, to change the price, particularly if the things that went wrong were the client's fault. So not only is that the long-term benefit of having the total integrated system, you have an immediate benefit of what we call the 30% budget rule. So for example, systems can go along and say, well, it'll do you an alert to say you're now 30% through the job, are you on budget? So that's an immediate impact on cash flow. On the database, of course, we are now seeing firms delve into the tax software, for example, and pull out dates of birth of clients, tax payable last year, maybe their year end, whether they're married, that sort of information. It's all available now in the tax software. And you compare a mail shot that would have gone out in years gone by, not that many years, Dear Gordon, as a valued client of the firm, please come to our budget seminar or come to our seminar next month. Compare that with the new letter. And the new letter says, Dear Gordon, because you're 43 years old, your tax payable last year was £55,000, your year end is the 31st of March, and you are married, we would rather think you should come to our seminar next month. Now, when a client reads that, compared to the old letter, you are immediately moving into this proactive added value capability. So the key for firms that want to deal with the staff, particularly the staff and the clients, the key is to have an integrated database so that the firms have a single point of entry, they're not running around into different tax software, account software, they're going in at one point, and the outcome, of course, is all on one screen. In fact, I recommend two screens, but basically it's one single point of entry and then all the information is in one place. That way they will then find that they're taking care of the staffing issue and the client's issue in the following way. That's where I see it panning out.